entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
What's happening, guys? Supernova here, back with another video, and your boy is amped right now. He's ready to go. I got my coffee in my system, and I'm very excited to make this video because it's one I've been looking forward to making since the announcement of this game. And you already know what it is. You've seen the thumbnail. You read the title. This is my review of Horizon Forbidden West. And look, if you can only watch one review of this game, let it be this review. Why? Because I sugarcoat nothing. I give zero fucks and I tell it how it is. I'm brutally honest, and I don't give a shit if people like or dislike what I have to say. I'm simply telling you what I honestly 100% feel about the game. Take it or leave it. I'm also not paid by or sponsored by anybody, so I don't benefit at all from lying to or misleading you. There's no reason for it. It doesn't do anything for me. This channel isn't even monetized. So imagine me right now with my left hand on the Bible and my right hand up in the air, because you're about to hear the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the motherfucking truth, right? At least in my opinion. Because let's not forget, at the end of the day, that's all reviews are, their opinions, and not everybody's going to have the same opinion. But these are my opinions. Also, this video is going to have zero spoilers of any kind. As a matter of fact, the video you're going to be seeing in the background is simply the first 20 minutes of the game, nothing else. And that's because I don't want to ruin anything or spoil anything for people really looking to go into this game knowing nothing, right? People who really want to experience the new locations, biomes, characters, enemy types, everything for the first time themselves. You can still do that if you watch this video. Now, having said all that, let's get into my review of the game. Now, let me first start off by saying Horizon Zero Dawn was one of my most favorite games of the last console generation, and definitely one of the best games on PlayStation 4. As a matter of fact, it was even nominated for Game of the Year, and probably would have won had it not been for a little game called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So Horizon Forbidden West really had a lot to live up to. And having now completed the campaign, which took me roughly about 46 hours, because I didn't just steamroll my way through the campaign, I really just played the game at my own pace, did a lot of side quests, did a lot of jobs, errands, salvage contracts, you know, what have you. After 46 hours of playing, I can definitely say that Horizon Forbidden West, in almost every way, is a much, much better Horizon Zero Dawn. They really did an amazing job of taking the formula of Horizon Zero Dawn and just turning it up, kicking it up a notch in almost every way that they possibly could. Now, the only place, really the only place where I feel that Horizon Zero Dawn is a better game is in the story. And this is a common criticism you see in a lot of reviews, right? But there are some people saying that the story is bad or not good or terrible. And I'll tell you right now, I can't co-sign that at all. I think the story in this game is fantastic. It's just not as amazing as the story in Horizon Zero Dawn. That's all. It's just not as good as that one. But is it still good? Fuck yes. It's still a good story. And it's expertly told. It's just not as good as the one in the first game. But for people going around saying it's bad or terrible or not good, I don't know what crack they're smoking. Like I said, I cannot co-sign that at all. In my opinion, the story is still very good. It's just not as good. And like I said, that's the only place that for me this game really falters behind Zero Dawn. Now, let's talk about the places in which it is better or in which it excels over Zero Dawn. And I think right away, without argument, the first thing you have to talk about is the visuals. Because holy shit, is this a beautiful game. And I will have to say that I did play it on PlayStation 5, but I've watched a lot of comparison videos between PS4 and PS5, and I gotta say, PS4 ain't looking too shabby, right? That PS4 version still looks superior to the previous game on PlayStation 4. But on PlayStation 5, it has just kicked up another notch, and in my opinion, this is the most visually striking, beautiful open world I have ever played in. It is so dense with detail and just polish. Everything, everywhere you go, everything you look at is beautiful. Beautiful. All the biomes are beautiful. Like, this game has polish up the fucking ass, right? It is also one of the most realistic looking open worlds I've ever played. And I don't mean that in terms of graphics. I mean that in terms of just how the geographical makeup of the world is. The verticalities, the valleys, the peaks, the rivers, the lakes. Like, it all just looks natural. Very little of it feels like something made for a video game, right? It almost looks like a place that exists, that you're just playing in video game form. The way that they've created these environments, these biomes, just feels very, very natural. It feels very real. The amount of times I found myself just kind of stopping and looking around going, God damn, this game looks good. Too many to count, right? Too many to fucking count. And I know right away there's going to be dudes in the comments going clickety-clack on their keyboards saying,
Ugh, Red Dead Redemption 2's open world was amazing.
And yes, Red Dead Redemption 2's open world was amazing. But this one is better. This one is better. Trust me, it is better. Another place this game excels over the last game is in character models. The character models in this game are far more lifelike, far more detailed than they were in the previous game. Right? And then let's talk about the animations, the performance capture. Because look, this game, for me, has the most lifelike, realistic performances, especially in the facial animations, that I've ever seen. And if you would have asked me previously, before this game, who in the gaming industry right now has the best facial animations for their games, I would have said easily, without hesitation, oh, Naughty Dog. Naughty Dog's got their facial animation game on lock. But I will have to say, with this game, I think Guerrilla has exceeded what Naughty Dog has done in the past, right? I think the facial animations in Horizon Forbidden West are far better than those in The Last of Us Part 2. And the ones in The Last of Us Part 2 were fucking fantastic. But the animations and performances in Horizon Forbidden West, like I said, are the best I've ever seen in a video game. If you think about whenever you speak to someone, the way that they say things, and I don't mean audibly, I don't mean in the way that you hear it, I mean the way that physically their face moves, how their mouth moves as they pronounce words, how their face might twitch in certain ways as they're speaking. Everybody's face looks different or moves differently as they are speaking. There are nuances to everybody's face when they speak that is different from everybody else. And that you get here in this game. Because they are using performance capture, and this isn't the only game to ever use performance capture, but for whatever reason, however they're doing the performance capture in this game, they are able to completely 100% capture all of those small nuances from that person's performance that really brings the life out of the character model. To make these, again, in my opinion, the most lifelike, realistic character models I've seen in a game, and the most lifelike, realistic performances of these characters that I've ever seen in a game. But look, I think most of us expected this game to be a visual showcase, right? So let's take that out of the equation. Let's talk about the actual game, the game itself. And let's start with the writing. Because this game has some of the best writing that I've experienced in a long, long time. Everything is written well. All of the conversations sound like conversations actual people would have. Coming off playing a game like Dying Light 2, which, holy shit, I didn't make a review for that game, but not a great game, right? The conversations in Dying Light 2 are some of the cringiest, most fucking awkward, very video gamey conversations that you'll ever hear. Horizon Forbidden West is a stark contrast to that game, where everything is just expertly written and feels like a conversation that people would actually have. Partner that with the expertly done voice acting, because again, in stark contrast to Dying Light 2, Horizon Forbidden West has top-notch voice acting across the board. And this all just helps add to the feeling of immersion when you're in this world, right? Add in as well the music. The music also top-notch in both just the overall theme of the game as well as music that kicks in when you get into battles. Again, it is just really, really well done. Whatever the budget was for the game, you can tell that they spent money on talent. Because talent is everywhere you look. You hear it everywhere you go. The game is just clearly filled with the hard work of many talented individuals. Now let's talk about the combat, because combat is one place that the first game really did excel, and nothing's changed here. Weapon variety is fantastic. All the different element types for the weapons is fantastic. Scanning your enemies to find weak points or find what elements they're weak to, and then figuring out what weapons work best in what scenarios is just as fun as it ever has been. And like I said, in this game, because of the expanded arsenal, I think they've actually made it even better. And then you have melee. Melee in this game has definitely gotten a big boost over the first game, especially because you now have much more advanced combos than you had in the first game. Now, you don't have them right off the bat. You do have to unlock them by going through one of your skill trees, but they are there. Speaking of skill trees, you have 6 different trees. You have Warrior, Trapper, Hunter, Survivor, Infiltrator, and Machine Master. I really love RPG elements like this in games because it really helps you kind of tailor your character to meet your playstyle, right? If you really just want to take over machines and have them do some of the fighting for you, Machine Master is your tree. If you really want to go nothing but bows and slings, Hunter's going to be your tree. If you really want to be sneaky, Infiltrator's going to be your tree. You want to go fucking just hands-on, hitting people with your spear, Warrior's going to be your tree. You want a little bit of everything, you can do that, you know? I really love being able to custom tailor your character to your playstyle, and you can very much do that in this game. Now, if you look at these skill trees, you'll see that down the tree there are these large round nodes, 2 of them specifically in each tree. These are your Valor Surges, and you unlock them once you've unlocked all the nodes around them. And these are basically special abilities that you can unleash by pressing L1 and R1 together. There are 12 in total, and they are overall a fantastic addition to combat. And because I want to mix in the bad with the good, and like I said, I sugarcoat nothing, one area of the game that I really do have a problem with is with its mission marker system. And it's not so much of a problem as that it is a bit annoying, and I'll explain why. If you look at the map of the game, there are actually a lot of pathways and roads that are designed in the open world, right? They were designed specifically to be there, these different roadways and paths. But it's an open world where you're not bound to those roads and paths. You can go anywhere. So where I would prefer the game to say, hey, your mission is over there, go there, this game has a system where it almost acts like car GPS, where you have a little mission marker on your screen, and it tells you your distance to your mission, but the marker isn't necessarily in the direction of your mission. It's kind of in the direction it wants you to go on this road or path. So as you get closer to your mission marker, it may then move to the left, and then you start heading that direction, and then it'll move to the right, and then you start heading that direction, and it constantly moves around, because it's acting more like a car GPS than it is a, hey, your mission is in that direction, go. And because of this, at times, it may be confusing as to which direction you're actually supposed to be going, or what the fastest route to your location is. to the point where both me and my buddy stopped relying on the in-game mission marker, and we would open up the map and place a flag or a pin or whatever you want to call it at the location, because once you do that, that never moves. That little pin or flag acts the way I wish the mission marker did. And once you start doing that, pro tip for you guys, if you do that, it will make it very hard for you to not know where you're going, or make it less confusing as to which direction you're supposed to go, because that flag or pin will always be on exactly where the mission is or what direction it is, versus this kind of GPS turn-by-turn bullshit that, like I said, it is one of the negatives of the game, and something that, like I said, while not a huge issue, does at times become a little bit of a nuisance or an annoyance. At least it did for me. Now let's talk about the bugs and pop-in. These are things you're going to hear about in a lot of reviews, and for me, again, after 46 hours, I can tell you that as far as bugs go, I experienced one bug which happened when I was trying to override the tallnecks. And for those of you who don't know, the tallnecks are these large kind of giraffe-type creatures with heads that are saucers like the fucking dish on the USS Enterprise from fucking Star Trek, right? And for whatever reason, every time I would try to get onto his head to override him, I would just fall through it to the ground. And he eventually ended up stepping on me and killing me, and then when I respawned, then I was able to actually step onto his head. But that's really the only bug I experienced in the entire 46 hours I played. My buddy who was playing also experienced a bug or two, but nothing that was game-breaking, and nothing that happened all the time. Now, in terms of pop-in, yeah, every once in a while I'll see something pop in, or as you're moving through the world, you'll see kind of things pop in the background. Not as bad as some of the examples I've seen in review videos before the game came out. Like, I've seen reviews where some dude was standing there and a whole building popped in front of him. I haven't seen any of that shit. I don't know if that's because they're playing on the pre-day one patch or what, but as of the time of the release of the game, at least for me, pop-in was very, very minimal and nothing that really broke immersion or affected gameplay, right? Like, something that I only really notice if I'm really looking for it, not something that's happening all the time. But it is there, and some people may experience it more than others, just like with the bugs. I mean, it is an open-world game after all, but from my experience, one bug that wasn't game-breaking and pop-in that really isn't that much of an issue. But these are things that exist. I mean, look, I don't want to make this video any longer than it really has to be, because there's really not that much to say about this game. The story is great. Graphics, it is probably the best looking game of this console generation. Storytelling is great. Voice acting great. Animations amazing. Small issues with bugs and pop-in for some individuals. That's really all there is to say about this game. This game, for me, and this again is for me, is so far my favorite game of this 9th generation of consoles. I am loving every second of it. I can't wait to finish this review so I can go back to playing it, because there's so much I still have to do. I still have legendary armor and weapons to acquire, gear to level up, bandit camps to take over. There is a fuck ton of things for me to do in this game, and I'm still loving the time I'm spending with it after nearly 50 hours of gameplay. And look, I'm going to be very, very blunt about this, because I've seen some of the Metacritic reviews that are just fucking insanity. I'm going to be very, very blunt and say this. The story is the worst part of the game, and the story is still great. But even if this video game had the worst story in the history of video games, everything else is so good, so top-notch, so exemplary, that even if that story was dog shit, in no reality, in any of the multiverses, is this game less than an 8. Okay? No fucking reality where this game is less than an 8. Even if the story was dog shit. Right? But for me, the story is not dog shit. Is this game a fucking 10 out of 10? Perfect game? No. But for me, it's still very much a 9 out of 10. Still very much a masterpiece, a classic. And I think when it's all said and done, and we're moving into the 10th generation of consoles, that this game will go down as one of the best games of this console generation. I think it's very easily a Game of the Year contender, Will it win? Probably not, because we got games like Elden Ring and God of War this year. But I would still put my money on it being a contender because, yes, it is that good. If you own a PlayStation and you're not buying Horizon Forbidden West, I don't know what you're doing. Like, what did you buy the PlayStation for? If not to play and experience these amazing PlayStation exclusives, right? And now, hey, I can understand if it's not your cup of tea. If you didn't enjoy Zero Dawn, then listen, don't waste your money on Forbidden West, because I'll tell you right now, you're not going to like it. But if you enjoyed Zero Dawn and you want a PlayStation, what are you doing if you have not purchased Forbidden West? If you own a PS5, what the fuck are you doing if you have not purchased Horizon Forbidden West, right? And look, again, I got no reason to lie to you. I got no reason to mislead you. Don't believe people that say it's a 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. They're fucking insane. There is no version of reality where that even makes sense. Because really, the only place that you could knock this game is in the story, and even there, the story is great. Everywhere else, this game excels. So, 7 out of 10, 6 out of 10. Sorry for all the people that write that. They're smoking fucking crack. I don't know what their problem is, but listen. I got robo dinosaurs to kill. I've said my piece. You know how I feel. And that's all I got for you guys on this one. Supernova out. And that's the video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And as always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys on the next Supernova, which will probably be an initial reactions to Elden Ring. Catch you guys next time.